This is indeed how you clean a mushroom. Damp paper towel or a damp cloth, wipe her down. If you're putting them in a soup or a stew, that's fine. But if that's not what you're using them for, like I'm going to be making a sauce out of these, and I still kind of want them to hold their shape, but when you rinse them off with water, they absorb a lot of water, and I want to bring a good half of the water out of these, if that makes sense.
I understand nothing.
So, one at a time. This, because I love to torture myself. Delicious.
What's that like to live deliciously?
I won't put you through all of this. They have been cleaned. And now I'm gonna pop, 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 all the way down. Really fine. Okay, so the mushrooms are in the pan. They're about this size. Varying sizes of this size. A little butter, a little olive oil. And I'm going to cook these at a 2, which on my stove it's just above the low. This is going to go really low and slow because I want to draw a lot of the moisture out of these. And that's it, yep. So these have cooked down pretty nicely. Now I'm going to just add chicken broth, beef broth. So this top part, that's the fat seal. I'm going to just smoosh that to the side and dump out the broth underneath. And a good broth, fresh out of the fridge, will look like Jello, just like that. Meat Jello.
What?
Okay, so the broth is in there. I just want to bring this up to a simmer. And then I'm going to add sour cream, you know, until it just looks how I want it to look. Okay, so that was about 1 cup of the broth, and then I went with around 2 tablespoons of the sour cream. Not a measured tablespoon, you know the one, the silver ones. So just brought it up to a simmer. And I'm probably going to just turn this off soon and let it sit. I'm going to put it back down to a low So, yeah, words, stuff is gonna happen. Okay, so while that's going, I'm just gonna get some Yorkshire batter ready for tomorrow. So this is gonna be a really small batch. 2 eggs, flour, and the flour, if you get some clear glasses or mason jars, equal amount, just like that. And this is going to be really simple, kind of bland, but they're still very tasty. And once I've got the flour in the bowl, I'm just going to use that same, whatever this thing is called, and I'm going to pour whatever this stuff is called to the same amount. If you want to go and if you want to make these things and put all kinds of schmaltz in it that you want, by all means go ahead. I just like them plain because I put other schmaltz on them. I'm going to be putting the that mushroom schmaltz on them. So the smart food people will say to check it with a spoon, and that's good. You want it about that thin.
Smooth and
thick but pourable.
It's easier, you see?
Just make sure it's super thin and just barely coats the back of the spoon.
Now this doesn't have any yeast or baking soda or baking powder in it. But again, all the smart food people say that this should still go in the fridge, preferably overnight.
Now we'll place the batter in the fridge for at least an hour and up to overnight.
going to be placing it in the fridge overnight.
This batter has been resting in the fridge overnight.
Rest it in the fridge for at least 2 hours or even overnight.
Put it in the fridge, leave it overnight.
In the fridge, if you have time, overnight.
So that's what I'm gonna do. This is gonna go in the fridge until I'm ready to make dinner tomorrow. And now I'm gonna get some tea. Well, I mean, I already got it. I'm gonna have some. Nothing but Timmy's Finest. All right, so this is about the consistency that I want. Delicious slop. And I'm going to put this just into a little 1-cup mason jar. So when I'm ready to make a sauce, I'm just going to take a scoop of this stuff and can add some milk and or beef or chicken drippings or fat and or water pasta water if I'm going to use it for a pasta sauce. Yep, that's it. So about half a cup, and again it's gonna spread out a ways when I add it to whatever I add it to make it saucier. It still does not look very appetizing, but it will be delicious.
24 hours later.
So it is the next evening. I'm ready to get these going for dinner. So the batter is in a cup, measuring cup, just so it's easier to pour because it has a spout. And then this is just the fat from the jar of broth that I used for the mushroom schmaltz. So I'm going to take a bit of fat and put them in 6 of these cups. And then I've got the oven on at 425. And this is going to go into the oven. When I say this is going to go into the oven, I mean just by itself. You want to get this stuff piping hot before you pour the batter in. You can also use beef tallow if you have that. Shortening oil. Just not butter, that wouldn't work. Okay, so this will make 6, and that's 6 tins. So I'm gonna pop this in the oven at 425 for about 3 minutes until it starts smoking. Alright, so the oil is nice and hot. The fat. So when you pour this into the tin, you want to try to get as straight down as possible because this is hot. It's going to start cooking immediately. And if you pour around the sides, that batter might come up some of it and start cooking more than what's in the center. So you want to try to get this as centered as possible. Because I only have 6, I just have these every other one, and that way they'll cook a little more evenly. Well, I guess I'm gonna have 5.5 because I didn't really eyeball these correctly. What a dough brain. It'll be an itty bitty baby shear. Okay. These are going to go back in at 425, 20 to 25 minutes. Alright, so I'm just going to heat up some leftover chicken. Not much. You know, I'm one person. And this is just a spoon of that mushroom schmaltz. This is so gosh darn difficult with one hand. Okay, and I'm gonna add also like a spoon of this broth. This is just more. I've got jars and jars of these. This isn't the same one. So that bottom portion, I'm gonna put a spoonful of that, and then I'll probably add a wee bit of milk. I'm just gonna heat it through. Alright, so this is done. It's all heated through. It took 2-3 minutes. And I am about to get the Yorkshire puddings out of the oven. They've been going for about 23 minutes maybe. Very poofy. This is why I wanted them to be separate so they have room to grow. Otherwise they all would have been congested. You know, if I had enough to make 12, then that wouldn't mean a damn thing because I would have just filled them all, but that's them. Okay, I'm going to plop her all onto a plate. Alright, so 2 Yorkshires, very poofy. I just want to just shove it in there. Get her in, get her done. You know, so there's chicken there somewhere. Right there.
What the hell is even that?
What a mess. What a mess.
What the hell is even that? Hell is even that? Hell is even that? Hell is even that? Hell is even that?
It's a sloppy, sloppy mess. But it's delicious. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Crushed it.